Welcome parents and students to our quiz retry review for Monday, December 12th. We took a quiz on Friday and I gave the students an opportunity to retry the same learning objectives on a new quiz today to see if they could improve their score. And so let's get started. First two questions, we wanted the students to meet this learning objective and be able to say I can multiply a whole number by a unit fraction in cases where the product is a whole number. So this will be a whole number, 15, 1/5 is a unit fraction. The product, the answer, is going to be a whole number. So in this case, 1/5 of 15 would be equal to 3. So let me put this down. Okay, so you should have had 3 for number 1. All right, and you can think of this as taking 15 and splitting it into 5 groups. Each group would have 3 in it. Okay, and so number 2, we have the same concept, same objective here. So we have the whole number 12, the unit fraction 1/4. If you have 12 items and you split them into 4 groups, each group would have 3 items. Okay, so 1/4 would have 3 items. Okay, so that's our objective number 1. All right, let's move on. Hopefully you did really well on that. So the next one, let's see if we can meet this objective. I can multiply a whole number by a non-unit fraction in cases where the product is a whole number. So here we have a whole number, and here we have a non-unit fraction. Once again, on number 4, we have a whole number, and we have a non-unit fraction. Okay, so unit fractions have a numerator that is what? 1. All right, so let's take a look at this here. So 2/3 of 18. So you're thinking of 18 items and you're splitting them into 3 groups. Okay, how many items would you have in each of the 3 groups? You have 6 items in each of the 3 groups. So if you had 2 groups, 2/3, okay, then you would have what? 12 items. Okay, so that's how you can think this one out. So you should have 12 for number 3. All right, thinking out number 4, we have 24, say, items, and we're splitting them into 6 groups, okay? And we want to know how many would be in 3 of the 6 groups. So 24 items split into 6 groups. That means we would have 4 items in each group, right? So 1/6 would be 4, 2/6 would be 8, 3/6 would be 12. All right, so number 4, you should have 12. All right, let's take a look at the next question. All right, moving right along. So number 5, okay, learning objective. I can multiply a fraction by a fraction to produce a fraction. All right, so in this case, we actually are going to change this whole number into a fraction, okay, because we cannot evenly divide here, okay? We can't evenly divide here or here. So in that case, we learn how to put the whole number over 1. So we want to put 5 over 1, okay? And now we multiply the numerators. 2 times 5 gives us 10. And then we multiply the denominator, 7 and 1, that gives us 7, okay? And this answer is not simplified. If this is what you have, you would have received half credit. All right, so we need to simplify this by dividing the numerator, which is larger than the denominator, by the denominator, okay? And so 7 divides into 10 once. 1 times 7 is 7. 10 minus 7 is 3. So you have 1 whole and 3/7. That is your final answer. Okay? All right, moving along, number 6. Number 6, we have 5 6 times 5, and we're going to take 5 and place it over what? 1. All right. Next step, we multiply the numerators, 5 and 5, and we get 25. And the denominator is 6 and 1, and we get 6. Okay? And since the numerator is larger than the denominator, we want to simplify. So we're dividing 25 by 6. 6 divided into 25 4 times, right? 4 times 6 gives us 24. And then the remainder is 1. So we have 4 and 1 over 6 as the final answer. Okay? All right. Number 7. Number 7. Let's erase. Number 7 here reads, Miss Johnson knitted a scarf for her grandson. The fabric is 3/4 yard long. Miss Johnson used 2/3 of the fabric. How many yards of fabric did Miss Johnson use? So she used 2/3 of 3/4. Okay? And so that gives us 2 times 3, which gives us 6. And 3 times 4, which gives us 12. All right? And let's simplify that. So 6 and 12, their greatest common factor would be 6. They're both divisible by 6. And so 6 divided by 6 gives us 1. 12 divided by 6 gives us 2. Okay, so your simplified answer here would be half. Okay? So here you need to shade the bar model to represent the fraction of fabric Miss Johnson used. So we have this split into fourths because the fabric is 3/4 yards long. So she's only using 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3/4 of a yard. Okay, that's how long the fabric is. But Miss Johnson is only using 2/3 of the fabric. All right. So we're splitting each of these fourths and 2/3. Okay. All right. And then you're shading 2/3 of each of these fourths. So we're shading 2/3 here, 2/3 here, okay, and 2/3 here. Okay, this is the third fourth, okay, and we don't want to shade here because the fabric is only 3/4 long. All right, and so now this represents our answer. 6 out of 12 pieces are shaded. All right, so that would be the visual. So the answer in a complete sentence to the question, how many yards of fabric did Miss Johnson use? Miss Johnson used half yard of fabric. Okay? And that's the answer to this question. So hopefully after this quiz review, you can see where you need to improve. If there's some areas where you notice you got some questions wrong, make sure that you tighten up on those skills because tomorrow we are moving on to our next lesson. So, happy learning. Happy Monday. I'll see you on Tuesday. Peace.